guys, it's Sam, and I'm here to announce another round of Shiftathon. Shiftathon is a readathon that myself and my friend Matthew started in February of this year, and it's sort of as the name says, shifters, but it's really like reading any urban fantasy / paranormal romance fantasy books. Because it's our guilty pleasure in the way that we are not guilty about it. We don't feel bad. Matthew and I bonded over our love of the Anita Blake Vampire Hunter books, which hold up, at least the first handful, and I'm going to be completing the series at some point. I've read let's look what my spreadsheet says. I think like 17 of the 28 books that are out. So this is a readathon that doesn't have a lot of rules besides you have to be reading like urban fantasy. So it has to take place in a like modern city setting. Paranormal romance, that kind of thing. You don't really want to be reading books that are like straight up fantasy world stuff. I know those are blurred lines around this, but you know the kinds of books I'm talking about. Let's get into it. This is a week-long readathon. It's taking place at the 3/4 moon. Last time we started on the full moon. Now we're going, the other direction. We're trying to do all the moon phases. Moons, right? Shifting. So starting on September 17th at midnight in your time zone, and is going to September 23rd, week-long readathon. We have 5 prompts. The prompts are not essential. You can read any book that you want, and it's fine. You can read 5 books from the same series, whatever. You can read 2 books, you can read 1 book, whatever. There's no rules here. However, we created 5 prompts. I'm being really ambitious and putting a book for every prompt, I think, besides 1. I just don't think I'm gonna read 5 books. Even short urban fantasy books, but who knows, I could be wrong. But this time Matthew created all but 1 of the prompts because I was gonna do the same prompts as last time because I'm lazy. And he was like, here's some cute prompts. And I was like, you are so smart. I wasn't gonna do anything because I'm lazy. But we have slightly different prompts from last time. So, number 1, I'm also gonna be telling you what my TBR is for this, with the prompts. Read a book that's available in a trashy mass market paperback. When we say trashy, we mean it with love, but both he and I read the books in the mass market paperback. As you can see, I am not a mass market paperback reader. I don't like it, but I did read my Anita Blake books until they basically fell apart, and I had them until about 2016, then I finally got rid of them because they were a nightmare. And there was a bunch of them in different cover styles. It was bad, but read a book that's available in a mass market paperback. You don't need to read the mass market paperback. You can read it in whatever edition you want to, but it has to have a mass market paperback. And you will also know by like just the funny cover art that they do for mass market paperbacks. It's wild. For this, I'm going to read book 4 in the Shifter series, Prey. This is a series that I do want to continue anyway. I wanted to read books 4 and 5 before the end of the year, potentially 6, but I don't think I'm gonna get to 6 because the end of the year is wild. There's like Halloween reading, and then I kind of want to do nonfiction November, and then I want to do some Christmas reading. I'm gonna run out of time, but I'm hoping to get at least 1 of the Shifter books read during this readathon. I could read 2 if I'm really feeling it, and I could slap that into another prompt. I'm gonna at least shoot for 1. And the first book in the series I actually did read on mass market paperback, so it fits. Number 2, read a book that has at least 2 different types of paranormal creatures in it. So jinn, angels, vampires, shifters, werewolves, those are different things. Whatever, demons, gargoyles, any of that. For this, I'm going to go with the Kate Daniels series, continuing out that, which I started during the last Shiftathon. And that's book 2, Magic Burns. This has shifters of all different kinds. Necromancers, angels. No, I think there is angels, but yes. Everything. Number 3 is read a book featuring humans that have paranormal abilities, but they're not creatures. So like not shifters, not angels, not any of that. Humans that are like clairvoyants, telepaths, spellcasters, so like witches would fall in here, something like that. I don't know what exactly I'm gonna do for this. I might start a new series here, which I am not pumped about doing. So I could read another Anita Blake book because Anita is a necromancer, so like that works. Because you can have other creatures in the book, but you want to be featuring somebody who's some kind of like magic user, human magic user, human abilities, whatever. So I could read another Anita book, and I honestly probably could fit 2 audiobooks and read those on audio into the week. I could. But I also might start the Psy Changeling series. I think that in this like Psy are like psychic abilitied humans, and then there are changelings like shifters, but one of the main characters, I believe, it's like psychic stuff. Mara, if you're watching this, let me know if that fits. I know she loves the Psy Changeling series. The first book here is Slave to Sensation, and check out this cover. But this is solidly a paranormal romance series, so yeah, I might. I don't know. That's another very long series to start, and I don't know if I should. I kind of want to keep my paranormal series contained. I could Also returned to this one world I used to follow where like she could see ghost lines, Seattle something. Those were kind of spooky, but now I could be, hold please. The Greywalker series by Kat Richardson. I literally just thought of it as I was talking and I went and looked it up on my computer. I would have to start over though. How many books are in this series? There's 9 books in that series. And I stopped because it's a little bit spooky for me, but I'm on anxiety medicine and I read it originally when I wasn't. I think I read 3 of them. But they have like kind of spooky names. I mean, the first one's not, but the second one is Poltergeist. Book 8 is Possession. But book 7 is Sea Witch, you know? So, I don't know. But I might do that. I just don't know. It takes place in Seattle and our main character is a Greywalker, so she's a human that can see ghosts. And she can almost see like the ghost world superimposed in the human world, which is kind of cool. So I don't know, I have a lot of options there. Number 4 is read a book with your favorite paranormal creature. And honestly, I don't know if I have one. I love so many. So I could just use this as an excuse to read more in another series. So I could read another Anita book. I could read another of the Shifter books and I would have read the 2 that I wanted to this year. I could read another Kate Daniels book. I don't know. Again, am I gonna read 5 books in a week? Probably not. Life has been very busy. So I don't know if I'll have the time, but they're so easy to read. So who knows, maybe. Book 5 is read a book that takes place in a real city. So some urban fantasy books are like in the future and they're in like a city that used to be a real city, but like it's a different name, or it's another urban fantasy. Like you couldn't read Crescent City for this because it's not a real city. So Kate Daniels takes place in Atlanta. There's a lot of them that take place in Chicago. That Greywalker series takes place in Seattle, etc. Those all just happen to be American cities. I apologize. Also, you have the one Dublin. There's a few Dublin books. There's options. For this one, I'm going to for sure be reading the next Anita Blake in my reread. So I'm now up to book 6? I don't know, Burnt Offerings, 9? Whichever one that is. I'm on a reread, so I'll read the next book in that series for sure for this. So yeah, that's my TBR. Those are the prompts. Like I said, it's just fun. We have a Twitter, but we're not really big on reading sprints and stuff. This is kind of gearing up for spooky season. It's the end of September. I know that there's a lot of spooky readathons, which is why we didn't want to do it in October, but let's do some spooky adjacent books for September and get in a spooky mood. So comment down below, let me know if you are joining us, let me know what books you plan on reading. Thank you all for watching and I'll see all of you guys soon. Bye.